Alright, this is a wonderful first YouTube video because I have no clue how to edit anything. Never made one before, but I want to explain this. Basically, what's happening here is I found the Holy Grail. After about 15 hours of experimenting with this and telling myself there's absolutely no way that we can't do this 100%, I found a way. I found a way that I think works. If you do it right, it will work almost every single time. It is very rare and weird for it to mess up, and every time it has messed up, I can point to something that I did wrong. And hopefully I get to explain all of that in the span of this video, everything that can go wrong, but there's honestly not that much if you're doing everything right. But you have to stick to the book, just like any other skip. We're basically going from playing slots with Prison Skip to playing Dark Souls. Slots? If you know, well, you don't even have to know what you're doing, but you can get lucky every now and then, and you'll win, and no matter what you know what you're doing, you will lose sometimes. In Dark Souls, you will lose because you did something wrong, and you can point to something that you did wrong and say, I'll do that better next time, and it won't happen again, and chances are it won't. And hopefully I can explain everything. The video is going to go kind of fast because, again, I have no idea how to edit, don't have any editing programs or an editor or anything. I'm just going to try to explain this. I have footage here where I do this about 6 times in a row. And on the 6th one, I die because I was stupid and I didn't, again, something I can point to. I had a brute shot out instead of a carbine, and when you're coming back up the lift, you're not allowed to do that. And we'll explain it all. We'll try to explain it all. I'm going to be pausing the video at certain points to explain what's going on, just to be a little more thorough since I can't pause in editing. So hopefully you're fine with that. I want to be thorough here. Anyways, let's start right now. Actually, sorry, blue ballsing you, one more thing. I'm running this on MCC, the Master Chief Collection, and I'm using a program called Halo Checkpoint Manager. So the checkpoint that I set myself to is right before the prison lift room, and the checkpoint you get in the prison lift room is right after you open the door. So what I'm saying is that this is random. Every time I run this in the 6 times, it's random. The spawns aren't random per se, but the behavior of the enemies is random. The brute spawns on the lower lift are random, and just random stuff like that. But I just see the randomness, I see which one it is, and I react accordingly, and we get through. That's enough talking for now. Let's go to the first part. I like to run over to the left side, open the door, and I like to kill this jackal on the right. You have to kill one jackal. If you kill 2 jackals, it's bad. If you leave them both alive, it's bad. I don't know why. We close the door, run down as fast as possible, and you come and open the lift right here. And I've learned at this point, you want to kind of look around, make sure no one's going to stick you, but it's fine. And here's where I'm going to pause the video the first time, because there's a lot to explain here. When you open this door, there's 2 brutes that might spawn down there. We looked on the first side, and you can see where I'm sticking the second one on the second side. There's a lot to explain here. If you want to completely eliminate the RNG from this part, this is what I figured out. I've spent about 15 hours working on this skip, trying to figure out how to get it to work. And this is basically what I found. If there are 2 brutes down there in the hole, I know this is a mega scuffed video, I'm sorry for the production quality, but if there's 2 brutes down there and you can see both of them, just stick the first one that you see. Just stick one of them, because the other will drop his weapon and just not do anything. He won't attack you. It's fine. If there's 1 brute down there, it gets complicated, and there's 1 brute, so I'm going to be able to explain what happens later. If there's no brutes, you just don't do anything. Literally, you check both sides, make sure none of them are there, and then you go to the next place that I'll explain. Where I'm going to explain what's happening with 1 brute. Actually, I'll just explain it now. On the opposite side of the room when you walk in, we're going to call that 12 o'clock, okay? The opposite side of the room when you first walk in, that's 12 o'clock. If you look to the left of that, that's 9 o'clock, right? When there's 1 brute down there, I don't know if this is seed specific or something, but in my experience, when there's 1 brute, you stick him, make the other berserk, and then when you switch to a brute shot, while you're walking around doing the next shit I'm going to show you. And when you come down the lift, you shoot at the lower part at 9 o'clock. And I'm going to do that on this run, and it prevents him from getting in the lift with you and messing everything up. I know that's way too much talking and explaining, but if that doesn't make sense, I'll show you in the video right now, because we got 1 brute here. It's the most complicated. So I stick that guy, he rages. I come over to this side and I watch the room. Also, this goes way too fast at this part, so I need to explain. I go to that side and I cross the line there because if I'm listening and I hear footsteps, I know he's going to come down right next to me. And if I'm watching, he doesn't make any sounds and he will sneak up behind you and shoot you or grenade you, whatever, and you'll die. So you want to go over there to that corner, watch the room, and listen. If you hear him coming, turn around. If you see him coming, go over there. That's all I got to say about that one. Let's keep going. When you go over here, here's what the funny thing. This is the brute shot brute. So his AI, if you're close enough to him, is not going to shoot you. It's not going to throw grenades. If you get really close, he will melee you, and that's what we're going to exploit here. He has two different melee animations, and this is why everyone gives up and says it's random, it's impossible. It's not. Even though it's random, we wait for a long jump for him to go into the corner, throw a grenade at the top, and go right down the lift. Shoot the lower part, like I just said. Might have to replay that one because that was a little fast. I didn't really get to explain everything. And then you just do the button combo and you're fine. Let's go back. Let's just review the footage. Review the highlight reel. So what I'm doing here, when he comes down here, which he does every single time, if you do it right. Every single time he comes down here. You go find him. You get as close to him as possible, right? You want to start baiting his melees. He does two different attacks, long and short. You're trying to bait a long attack into the center of a column. You know those purple little things behind him? He just did it right there. He jumped into the center. That's the best angle to get him to go in the hole. You line up with his head, look up, and throw the grenade. Go down. There was one brute, so I know the brute's coming from right there. I shoot right there. It keeps him from jumping in with you and messing the whole thing up. Also, while I'm in the lift, I like to crouch a bit to fall a little bit faster, so if you don't do that, sometimes the brute falls faster than you in the lift. So if you don't crouch a little bit, sometimes he'll like stand on top of you and he'll jump off of you when the checkpoint happens and you'll miss it even though he went down at the same time and you'll die that way. So crouch a little bit when you get in the lift if he's right next to you. But that's the first run with one brute. I don't know if the brute shot thing makes sense yet with that amount of explanation, but hopefully it does. Basically, if you don't shoot that 9 o'clock position where the weapon crates are right below that on the lower level, he can melee into the lift and mess the whole thing up. I've found that completely eliminates it though. Once again, we jump by the left side. We're going to run this 5 more times, alright? We're in here for the long haul. Run to the left side, shoot one jackal, run down as soon as possible. Let's see what toes we get this time. I'm just imagining I'm in a run because I don't remember this. There's no toes on that side. One toe on there. So same deal. Same exact deal. I'm going to do the same thing again. Did not even have to replay the footage. And you see, sometimes he's down there early, so you want to be careful. But he's there. We're doing the same thing. We're waiting for a long jumping attack into the center of one of these purple Chernobyl disaster elephant foots right there. And if you're fast enough, you can do a, okay, we're doing something a little different, but here comes the brute shot, 9 o'clock, shoot him. You saw him running towards me. He was going to mess it up, but I stopped him. That's how you stop that every single time. I still need to do more testing to see if that's like seed specific, if there's one brute that the other one goes 9 o'clock. I don't know yet, but there's ways to shoot all 4 sides with the brute shot if that is the case, so it's fine. It will still be possible. That one was also, I'm just going to stop a second. That one was another, it's kind of a backup strategy. If you see him going, like, not what he's supposed to do, you can still kind of time the way he falls in there and just fall in with him. But we're just going to keep going. Here comes number 3. Come to the left side, shoot the jackal, run back. I forgot to mention something very important. You have to let the door close. If I don't close the door, it just doesn't work sometimes. And I think it's because the second brute is still down here when I come down. You want both of the brutes that you see going up the lift to be up there. Let's see if we get 2 toes this time so I can explain what happens. And don't waste too many grenades here or else you can't throw another grenade, right? There's 2 toes, so I like to kill one of them. And the other will drop his weapon and not bother you whatsoever. I'm coming over to this side and I'm listening. I'm watching because, again, I don't actually know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm running around. But there he is. Usually you hear footsteps and that means he's coming around and he's going to drop down next to you. And if you see him, you just run up to him. He'll throw a grenade sometimes, but you can dodge it very easily. Once again, baited a long jump into the corner there in the center. Time the jump, go down with him. Again, that guy will shoot you, but it's fine. If one of them is dead, it's fine, as long as you have shields. You might want to be a little more thorough if you have shields and be careful. Maybe shoot a brute shot at the last guy that's left if you don't want to waste your grenades. There's also something I failed to mention about the way the grenades are thrown. If you don't throw them like that, where they're over his head, it's a lot more common for him to run away from the grenades. Because sometimes, yeah, he will sometimes seemingly randomly just say, oops, I don't want to get blown up by a grenade, and he starts moving around again. I don't know if he does that on any of these attempts, but when he does that, you do the same thing. You dodge him throwing grenades, you just run up to him again, and you just rinse and repeat. Do the exact same tango that you're doing to get him down every time. Is this no toes? No toes means you do nothing. You literally just, you don't throw that grenade. I don't know why I threw that. You literally don't do anything. You're fine. You're basically just have to do the tango, and you're chilling, right? And once again, literally trying to bait a long jump into the Chernobyl elephant's foot on the purple in the center. If you're fast enough, you can do a short attack and do it, and I'm showing you that you can even do this at a weird angle. It doesn't have to be the center. Most angles, if you can line your grenade up, he will come down after you, and you're fine. And once again, you saw there was no toes down there. I just rode with it, and we're fine. It should not kill you. There should be no one berserking, no one coming after you. You're fine. Was that number 4 or 5? I do not remember. I did get my revenge on this jackal because he would have ended the Gravemind run right there. Yep, okay, that was thorough enough. This might be number 5, number 6. I've honestly lost count. I don't remember. It's probably number 5. I had to start running it down. Maybe that was number 4. I'm really good at making YouTube videos. But again, same thing. Come to the left side of the door. Shoot the jackal. Again, do not kill more than one jackal, no matter what you do. You can wait as long as you have to. Just make sure that you kill one jackal. Come down here. Check your toes. I see one toe. If you see any pair of toes when you first look down, just kill them. Because all of our setups require at least killing one. I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing here, but I guess I kill the second one as well. So I'm running with one grenade right now, and Stupid is already in there. I don't know if I already mentioned that that's his name. If he's hiding around that pillar like that, you don't want to stand across from him. You want to lure him away from that pillar, because he'll try to take the shortest path, which is in front of the pillar, and he'll fall down when you don't want him to sometimes. But again, just line up the long jump into the center. He stops moving. You throw the grenade above him so he doesn't get scared, and then you go down. That's all there is to it. That should be 5 times in a row, unless I still have the brute shot out. And you see, that's what I'm afraid of. If you don't crouch, we're going to cut it really close here, because he landed on top of me because he falls faster. And if you don't crouch a little bit to get away from him before he does that, he'll do that right after the checkpoint happens, and you'll just fall all the way down. He'll be too far away, even though he came in right after you. So you want to watch out for that. I'm really pleased with 5 in a row, I think. I'm starting to believe in the consistency. I had the audio recording as well. I didn't know it was recording when I made this video last night. But yeah, this is my 6th run. I die on this one because I'm in the lift trying to do the melee cancel with the brute shot, and you can't do that. But I do everything else right. I actually think it gets really dicey, and I still pulled off. So I can show you that you can still do it even when it gets bad. You don't need any shields to do this. I mean, it's ideal, and depending on your setup, somebody might shoot at you, so you might need some, but it's always good to have shields. Stock up on your shields before you come in here, obviously. But I've spent about 15-20 hours on this, and I've found it to be the most consistent prison skip strat anyone's ever seen, and I'm really pleased with it. And I basically went from saying this challenge is going to be almost impossible to I'm definitely going to be able to do this, just because I can skip this part. I think this is the worst part in the game, but with this skip, hopefully it helps anyone else who's struggling on prison to cinch this one out, and we're basically going to take it home together, and that's all I gotta say about that one. I'm predicting that Jervalin, it would be so cool if Jervalin uses this strat in the run that he wins. That would be insane. But it'll be a little unfortunate if he you know, tries to do it and messes up and says, Cuddly, your strat sucks! God, come on, man. But it's fine. That's not going to happen. See, this is, okay, yeah, it gets dicey. Sometimes, very rarely, he dodges out of the way, but you do the same thing. You just go back to engage. You just do the tango again. That's why I say don't throw more than 2 grenades down there. You actually shouldn't ever have to throw more than 1 grenade out there. So stock up on grenades before you come up here. And try not to throw more than 1 down there, because every brute setup down there requires you throwing 1 grenade or 0. Just like that, line it up. I get the timing right. It's fine. Nobody shoots me because I took care of my things. He jumps off, and I'll just show you guys the death because it's goofy. I tried to do it with the brute shot, and I'm like, wait, I still have the brute shot out. I switched to the carbine, but it's too late. I'm already dead. So please have your carbine out when you're going down the lift. That's all I gotta say about that one. That's prison skip 5.5 times in a row, basically 6 times in a row. Hope this helps anyone who's struggling. I probably made a mistake somewhere and forgot to mention something, so that's wonderful, but I'm making this video kind of on a whim, so I'll probably do a better version someday. But I love all you guys. Check my, whatever it's called for my Twitch channel. Description, I don't even know, dude. I've never made a YouTube video. And yeah, I think this will be a game changer. I think I found the Holy Grail. That's all I gotta say about that one. Love you guys.